So, why am I here? I ask the same question to the people who chose me to be part of i3, and sometimes I'm just not sure. But what gets me here is to meet other inspiring and motivational people and get a chance to listen to people who know a lot more than I do, and a chance to really absorb and take in some of that knowledge.
So to say I was proud of the i3s yesterday was an understatement. 9 teams presented concepts that they had been working on over the past 8 months. Each team had 5 minutes, rapid fire 5 minutes, to present the culmination of literally 8 months of work in front of what was the largest audience that we've had ever at i3.
That energy that you've been building up for 8 months, and you've been practicing and spending weekly calls with your team, and all that anxiety the night before. And then to go up there in 5 minutes, you've pitched and everyone's screaming and yelling at the end. It's relieving because it's over, but it's also just begun because now we're digging into the deep stuff.
After the i3 presentations were over, the i3ers all got on buses. They had no idea where they were going, and they were in for a treat. They were in for an experience that I feel truly underscores the objective of what i3 is all about.
Getting on a bus and having Andrew be super serious, like, okay, this is what we're going to do, and it's right out the gate, I think we all were kind of like, this is, oh my gosh, this is kind of scary, what are we going to do?
My first instinct was, this is not something I want to do. I'm not real comfortable with, it's not something that's been part of my life. But I opened myself up to it thinking, I trust these people, we're here for a reason. And then the more I learned about why we were there, to understand the challenges that they were having. And even if it's not in that industry, you can apply it to other industries.
We're heading on the bus. We pull up and I see Green Labs, and instantly I'm thinking, this has got to be something with the recycling or something like that. The guy comes on the bus and he says, I'm your resident stoner. And I'm thinking, well, no, that's not recycling. So that's got to be something else. And I realize, okay, we're at a different kind of green lab. And instantly I'm intrigued because I'm thinking this is way out of my wheelhouse and totally out of anything that I have any experiences with.
And Green Labs is a legal cannabis co-working space in the state of Colorado. The use of cannabis products is legal, but the business side of that industry has a lot of need and a lot of challenges that aren't being met by traditional financial services. We had the opportunity to meet with the CEO and other leaders of the Fourth Corner Credit Union, which is a new credit union that has received their state charter and is experiencing quite a few challenges trying to gain the deposit insurance actually that's necessary to operate. The i3 teams had the chance to hear the story, to really understand the challenges that this industry is facing, and to suggest innovative solutions that might help move this industry forward and might help credit unions play a part in the future.
The beauty of Filene often comes from the bus rides. Every seat has a story, and if you get around and take the time and talk to these people, that's where the real learning takes place.
Anytime that you're working with Filene, it's always an adventure. You just don't know where you're going to end up, but it's always inspiring.
We're off to another undisclosed location, and this location was what many would consider the ultimate pilgrimage for anybody in the credit union movement.
I've been in the credit union industry 26 years, and I've always heard about this. I've seen the pictures. I've gone to GAC. I went for their celebration last year, I think it was. And to actually set foot on where that all happened and the foundation of where CUNA had started was unbelievable. I had goosebumps, I truly did.
We were going to Estes Park, Colorado, where in 1934, Edward Filene and the other founding fathers and mothers of our industry put together the structure and the formality of the credit union movement. So we gathered in literally the birthplace of U.S. credit unions. We heard from Bob Hoyle, one of the first executive directors of Filene Research Institute, who talked about the reasons that Filene was created in 1989. We heard him talk about the original inspiration for i3 back in 2004, and about how i3 really came to be because our industry needed a group of up-and-coming executives with creativity, with a lens toward getting things done, to work in a collaborative fashion across 2 countries to really build the future of credit unions.
How cool is it that we get to bring all of these people together to find the right solutions to problems?
You know, the beauty of the credit union industry is it's one big shop. It's the most collaborative industry that I can imagine. Even though we are probably more a tendency more to compete against other credit unions, the collaboration is always there. And these people are so respectful of the talents of each other that you've got a resource and a database that will never go away.
Innovation is all about collaboration and reaching further outside your network to get different ideas. And it's a method that is repeatable. So anybody can be part of innovation, anybody can innovate with the proper tool set. So that's what Filene has taught me.
Today was our second day, and true to form in I3, we required the I3ers to be up bright and early on the bus by 7:30 a.m. to head to one of the most picturesque venues in the Denver area, Red Rocks Amphitheater. In that very beautiful environment, the teams were allowed to select one of 4 concepts that had been either presented this week in Denver or perhaps was an older concept they were dusting off, to build further over the next 4.5 months.
I really loved Red Rocks. That's awe-inspiring in terms of the beauty of it, and it was lovely.
Putting us in situations maybe that are not always comfortable, but taking us to amazing places, surrounding us with amazing people to really get us to explore our minds, and that's how we truly innovate.
We wrapped up at Red Rocks, we hopped on a bus, and we ended up here in Boulder, Colorado at a location called Impact Hub. It's a co-working space. And here we've had what we call our first annual Filene i3 Creativity Olympics.
The Enigma Room, getting yourself behind a locked door with 7 other people that you really haven't worked with before. You may have seen them before, but you've never worked with them as a team. I thought that was the best way to actually start off a team. If you can walk out of a room that you've been locked in and you had to try to find your way out within an hour and you haven't killed anyone, then I think it's a success that you can actually work with those team members for the rest of the year.
So you walk in and it is purposefully dimly lit. There's not a lot of Q&A of what is actually happening. The actual people that work there, they tease you a little bit of, do you want, sure, I can answer your question, but I'm not going to answer your question, so you can ask if you want. And then they shove you into the room after you sign a waiver that you don't really read and lock you in there.
We got out, but not based on our skills. So I say we got out, yes. Or we let out versus us getting out ourselves, that's a different story.
We learned from a behavioral economist today, understanding how subtle nudges can get consumers, members to act in more favorable ways. So understanding how consumers approach financial products and services and processes in ways that may not necessarily be obvious. So those insights, definitely feedback from credit union executives, understanding what are the biggest challenges in our movement and trying to build solutions for those.
The biggest hurdle now is how do I keep it going? You know, once I get out of this, I'm not meeting this group of extraordinary people in another 6 months from now. So what do I do moving forward to take what I've learned over these past 2 years and continue moving it forward and infuse that into the organization and into my life?
Filene i3 is really becoming the credit union industry's outsourced R&D lab. Because we know that credit unions individually have a difficult time innovating. There are a lot of great opportunities for collaboration, but none greater that I see than Filene i3 to really take our movement, our industry forward to meet the needs of consumers.
Every single year and cycle moving into i3, I've learned that I know less and less. So the insight for me is really coming to expect the unexpected and know that there's new, greater, better things coming in our business.